Welcome to Bump Set Chat, the podcast where volleyball professionals come on and share their stories, experiences, and advice. And today I'm super excited, making his second appearance back on the pod, the new head coach of Long Beach, Nick MacRae. Welcome.
Yes, sir, Barry. It's an absolute pleasure per usual, man. Thank you.
No problem. So as usual, we get things going with a few random questions. So are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
What is the best meal your wife says you make?
The best meal my wife says I make. Oh, man. Let's say a good barbecued steak, Barry.
All right. And favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday is Christmas, as it's upcoming right now and for the kids.
Yeah. All right. Most underrated kids movie?
And I have kids, so I'm watching movies nonstop.
Uh-huh.
Let's give another Adam Sandler shout out, Barry. Anything Adam Sandler.
Okay, there we go. Easy. All right. So first, congrats, man.
Thank you.
And actually, congrats on two things. Last time we talked, it was before the championship. So congrats on winning the championship and congrats on being named new head coach.
I appreciate you very much. It is an incredible whirlwind and an incredible honor, and we're going to dive into it talking right about the greatest to have ever done it in Alan Knipe. So being his successor, and he's teed me up. I've worked with him for 13 years, and Barry, I've known Alan for 19 years. And my first story that I'll go over about him, I was 17 years old, and Alan called me to campus, and he was recruiting me, and he was going through the recruiting process and giving his sell to Long Beach State and why I should be a part of his family. And one of the questions that now I get to talk to recruits and ask the same thing, he asked 17-year-old me, said, Nick, what are your interests at that time? What are your interests when you're done with volleyball, and where do you see yourself years from now? And 17-year-old Nick responded, said, I think I'm interested in coaching. So then fast forward 6 years from then, I graduated Long Beach State in 2012. And 2012 was an Olympic year, and Alan was the head coach of Team USA at the time. And I received a call, and he said, Nick, you still interested in coaching? Been with him ever since, been with him here at Long Beach State ever since, and it's been a 19-year incredible relationship. And I've literally spent more time with him through thick and thin. We've had plenty of countless wins. Obviously, we've won a few championships together, and the big things are different, not necessarily failures, but a lot of growing moments. Alan was by my side every step of the way. He was at my wedding. He's been a part of my three children and been a guiding support for me from a father standpoint. And he's literally prepared me to be right here in this moment. And now I feel like this is the absolute greatest honor. So I give all love and credit and respect to Alan.
Yeah. And speaking of Alan, he's been such a foundational figure for Long Beach volleyball. Yep. What advice has he passed on that, you've really taken to heart in this, quick transition so far, or this short transition so far?
There's two things, and Alan Knipe, there's a lot of defining factors in Alan, but these two things that I will carry with me for the rest of my life, and hopefully we can get more and more people talking about it. So when you're in our Long Beach State family, you got one major focus, and that's strictly to leave it better than you found it. And whether it be with our program, with our university, with our community, with your family, try and always be that person with whatever room you go into. You're trying to leave others or leave the situation better than you found it. And two would be try and bring as many people along for the ride as possible. So those are my two focal points right there.
All right. And now, what do you feel is the biggest part of Alan's legacy that you want to continue?
I think there's four tiers that he and I have been able to collaborate on. First is ensuring that everybody, that's myself, that's our coaching staff, and mainly our guys, are constantly growing. So daily growth, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Staying connected. Connection is big time within our culture as well. Relationship building, connecting with our community, with our university, and obviously within our men's volleyball family. Creativity is big. Creativity in our craft and our sport, and trying to find new enjoyable ways to move the mark, and ensuring that our current guys right now and our future guys know that there's no ceiling with how the game of volleyball can be played, and it's our job to try and still be innovators and try and create some new, because that also is a positive hook to the guys that,
Hmm.
hey, the reminder, this is pretty fun to go after some new. And then fourth would be on and off the court, compete as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And at the root of everything, be a competitor.
Yeah. Absolutely. And now, was there anything surprising or eye-opening that Alan shared with you about the realities of being a head coach?
He had always said, he said, Nick, you'll know it when you get there, but from the second seat to the first seat, there's a lot more that you're going to have to go through. And I was talking to a community member about this, and you truly don't know until you go through it. And I mean, anybody out there who wants to be a head coach, I'm here to connect with you and go over how my first few weeks has been and give some advice and also some lessons learned. But I would connect it with my other first that I went through, and it was the first time I was a father.
Hmm.
First time I was a father, everybody was trying to prepare me. Hey, this is what you're going to go through. But at that point, it was just myself and my teammate, my wife, Ashley. It was just us. And then we enter in our daughter, Reese, and like, holy moly, this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Holy moly, you mean I don't get that extra sleep? But it triggered, and your body normally, like, I'm not worried about it or in fear about it. It's like, okay, we have to be better. We have to now look out for this situation. Same thing as a head coach. Immediately, I have to look out for my guys even more. We have to get check-ins. We have to check in with all of the alumni.
Hmm.
We have to get check-ins with all of our recruits, and you can't truly understand what it takes until you go through it.
Yep, absolutely. And speaking of first year head coach, I was chatting with Dan Meske, and
Yep.
who's
A
he's
good
on the
friend,
tail
a good
end.
man.
Yeah, and he said congrats, and he said great guy. So just passing that along.
Dan is someone, I mean, our four pillars from growth, connection, creativity, and competitor. Dan is forever someone that I answer the phone for, and I know he will do the same for me, whether it be incredible leader, incredible coach, incredible man, husband, and father. I'm always there for Dan.
All right, and now we know Dan likes his nicknames. Does he have a nickname for you?
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him that. Hopefully, it's just Nick, or that guy's a great competitor and a great leader, a great father and husband. Hopefully, he says the same thing to me.
All right. So now walking back to the moment, you found out there's going to be a coaching change at Long Beach. How did that all transpire?
Yeah, Barry, what I would say, man, I'd say within the past 3 or 4 years, Alan has mentored me to a point of, Nick, it could happen at any moment. Not that it would have happened at any moment, but that's something that I don't believe everybody gets, that true mentor or true type of preparation. Alan was truly diving in and preparing me like, Nick, you are going to be a head coach. And I'll give incredible credit per usual to him, but then to our athletic director, Bobby Smither, and we got to a point where I was named as the head coach in waiting. So it wasn't an if it was going to
Mm-hmm.
happen, it was simply a when it was going to happen. And then obviously it happened right now and after Thanksgiving, and we had a ring ceremony. We were all off for a week, and then the guys heard on Monday, and that's why I said the first 48 to 72 hours were the most important. And it was hunkering down within our bubble, and it was just about the guys.
Yeah.
And then the bubble got a little bit bigger, and it was about our alumni, our inner family, university members, some tight-knit community members, and then our recruits. And that was what the primary focus was. And if I'm talking to someone who is going to go through this process, that is how you do it. And that is the template and roadmap.
Yep.
None of it is about you, and my ego will always be out the door. And being a leader, it's taking care of this baby in this bubble, because it has been left in an amazing spot where I find it right now. And as you know, I'm trying to make it even better.
Yep. And now, when you found out, who was the first person you told?
First person I told is my teammate. It's my wife, Ashley.
Nice.
I advise everybody else to do that too.
Absolutely. Were there any immediate challenges or decisions you realized you had to tackle right away, other than probably looping in the current players probably and recruits?
It's ensuring, and we've spent the entire fall of working on our team culture, and not that anything can prepare you for this sort of change, but this thing is bigger than me and Long Beach State men's volleyball. It is way bigger than me. And one day I won't even be a part of it. Hopefully that's not for another 25 years. But through that time, it was just being direct with the communication, ensuring that I came from a place of pure intent. And then also moving forward, Barry, like the staff members that I have with me, it's McKay Smith and Amir Lugo Rodriguez. They're a big part of this too. So Amir and McKay are both Long Beach guys. They
Mm-hmm.
bleed black and gold, and they are two of the best coaches in the business. So I get the honor of coming to work every day and problem solving alongside them.
Mm-hmm.
And moving forward, Barry, you got to have both of them on your podcast so they
Yep.
can tell their story. And then I give an incredible shout out just to our guys from a maturity standpoint. So it's connecting with our five seniors that came first because for me, it's as we're on our quest for sustainable success and chasing championships and being a process-minded team that constantly pushes for more and more every single day, it's ensuring that I also do right by those five seniors because I get to honor them in May. So that's also been in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's ensuring that our five new guys, so our freshmen that are here, also connecting with them of, okay, you've gotten through your first. Their first was the first fall. So they've yet to go through their first season.
Yep.
So then it's ensuring that we have the support mechanisms in place. And I'm not overlooking the guys that are second or third years as well, but that's kind of the starting point from the top and the bottom, and then bringing everybody along from there.
All right. And speaking of culture, Long Beach has such a strong identity, ball control, physicality, culture, consistency. Are you keeping things largely the same, or are there areas you want to sort of evolve? And it's probably a little too too early to ask that, but just in case there's anything out there.
I think from Long Beach State standpoint, from the user standpoint, what you're always going to be able to see for Long Beach State men's volleyball, if you're just going to watch it, holy moly, these guys are physical. Holy moly, these guys play as hard as they can. And we're going to be unapologetically ourselves. And what that means is we're willing to put in the work to problem solve and find ways to win however we see fit. Some nights we're going to have to win with our swagger of offense. Some nights we're going to grind on you with our serve and our block and defense, and then a mixture of both in between. And that'll also be, we're going to have to win with different lineups. We've widened our base. All 17 of our guys will be weapons, and our objective is to stress out our opponents every step of the way. So I know that comes from Alan, so I'm not revamping anything there. And that's also a shout out to our alumni that have helped build this incredible base that I get to be a part of today.
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about using everybody, I had Nato Dickinson on, and, when.
One of the best. He's a champion.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was talking about, his struggles early as, freshman, as a red shirt, and then just having to fill in different roles. And he finally understood that being more flexible gave him more avenues to the court. And, when you guys went down in the middle, he was able to step in, and, it seemed like that's the Long Beach way.
Being comfortable in the uncomfortable, and I'm so very proud of Nato because he wrote it all out and he absolutely starred, and the whole world saw him, and now he's conquering, playing professional volleyball overseas. But he'll be one of our biggest resources moving forward because he took that massive growth through his process at Long Beach State. And those are the most proud moments from a coach standpoint, that then you lean on your alumni, because everybody wants to come in and for the first time they want to be a starter right away, or they want it to be super comfortable. And this is advice to the just generic world, and every young man who's playing in high school right now. Every young man wants a guaranteed spot or a guaranteed scholarship. The true guys who hold it out, that just flex their LB grit, and they're going towards those massive goals that don't have a guarantee, when it does work out for them, like it did with Nato, he's going to be one of the greatest fathers, mentors, and coaches should he want to coach from years from now. And he's going to be a very special piece to many young men's lives moving forward.
Yeah. And speaking of the grit, I had Kellen Larson on. And,
Yeah,
when I talked to Alan, he talked about, Kellen struggled early part of the season with his passing. And then Kellen said it was tough because, working with Moni, who is 6'10", he's looking for his passes over the net. So Kellen's like, I had to learn to pass over the net. And he said it was really hard, but, you know, grinding through it, having the grit, in the end, it all paid off.
Being a top 10 percenter and a competitor also off the court and a really good volleyball learner. This is a shout out to Kellen, but also to most of our guys. They're willing to put in the work. So they're not afraid of work. When you're at Long Beach State, no one's afraid of work. And then it's okay, this is the problem that I have to solve, or this is the area of growth that I have to lean into. Like all of our guys have an incredible growth mindset. And like I said earlier, we are a process-based team. So it's always about growing and striving for more. So Kellen immediately bought into it. And I don't necessarily think he struggled there. I think, okay, you saw him thrive year one, he's a champion. Now for me, it's trying to ensure that, okay, Kellen, you accomplish your goal year one. We've got these goals for year two, three, and four. And he's also on the back end. We're talking about you're trying to prepare yourself to be a future Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
And that's many, many of our guys in our program. We've got those big goals and aspiration that I get the luxury alongside McKay and Amir and plenty others to help support our guys on that quest towards greatness.
Yeah. Going into this new season, you know, what do you think are going to be the biggest challenges as you anticipate to take over this program? And the glaring one that I look at is that setter. Who is going to be that next setter that steps up for you guys?
I got an awesome example. I got two examples. I want to give a shout out to Moni for many reasons. Moni, our relationship, Moni always stays connected. He sent me some very nice messages. Moni, when he was here, he opened up the door, and I was having this conversation with Skyler and Connor Bloom, two of our senior leaders last week. Moni helped open up the door for collegiate men's volleyball. And now this year, guys like Skyler and many other guys get to go through that door, and the Moni Nikolov effect now gets to be the Skyler Varga effect, or the Kellen Larson effect, or
Mm-hmm.
the Alex effect, yada, yada, yada. So a shout out to Moni for what he's done, what he's continuing to do on his path to greatness. And now back to our setters in 2018 and 2019 when we went back to back at Long Beach. Another guy that mentored me, even though he was a student athlete at the time, was Josh Tuaniga, one of the greatest to also who have ever done it. And at the time, what people didn't really know about was the setter unit who was helping mentor and be behind Josh. So it was Curtis Stallings, Josh Tuaniga, we had Matt Butler, and then we had Gary Trejo, and then we had a young Aiden Knipe. So it's back to what I experienced early in my profession of it's going to take every single setter to get the job done. So we're kind of back to that. We have Jake Pisani, Island Doty, and Ryan Peluso, where through the entire fall, it's okay, let's get this entire setter unit problem solving together, ego aside, help one another improve because all three of them are different. So we're kind of leaning on that. And what I'd say, nobody has to come in and be Moni Nikolov. It's actually all the guys that are returning, like Skyler Varga, Alex Condiv, Kellen Larson, who are our three primary passers. They get to come in and move the mark. And then you're bringing back Daniil, Ben, and Isaiah, who all played in the national championship match. And then you're adding in some young guys. Like I think we had 8 guys play overseas this summer for their national team
Mm-hmm.
berries. So some of our younger guys, like Jackson Chris, played for Team USA. Miles Jordan played for Team USA. Wojciech played for Team Poland. So now they're going to also help move the mark even more too. So
Yep.
it's going to take everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And now for you, you know, what does success look like for you in year one?
Success in year one is ensuring that when I write myself, if I write myself a letter today and I'm opening it in the middle of May, it's Nick, you've left no stone unturned, and you didn't live in fear. You leaned into everything and just competed through it, and you weren't afraid to take action, and you weren't afraid to make a decision, which means taking even out the word afraid. You took action, you made a decision, you weren't worried about any outside noise, and you did it with pure intent with your coaching staff and everybody who's the primary point in our Long Beach family. and I wasn't doing it for any external noise reason.
Yep. All right. And I got to say thank you for suggesting getting Vlado on, Vladimir
Yeah,
Nikolov.
good.
What a conversation, man. What a guy.
I mean, Vlado's one of the greats. And again, I'm lucky enough to have built a relationship with him. And he's a volleyball legend, not just in
Mm-hmm.
his community, in the world. And now you see his two sons moving forward too. And he has two more kids. One of them has also just started to play volleyball. So you're going to see even more Nikolov success in the future.
I was going to ask you, maybe is Filip on the radar down the road,
There
maybe?
you go. Maybe NCAA rules might not let me say that, but you said it, Barry.
There we go. Since I didn't talk, I talked to you before you guys won the championships. You want to talk a little bit about that championship run?
Championship run. I've had the luxury as a coach to have been there before.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it's being comfortable with Alan. We've been in those moments. We've won some, we've grown from some, having been on the other side of it. So with all the lessons learned going into that moment, I remember plenty of amazing leadership conversations from the guys, from Alan, from McKay. And then I remember going into the finals, my only spin to the guys was like, okay, the biggest risk right now, guys, is literally to take no risk at all. When you're in that final moment, you're not playing a best of 7 series. It's one match, win or lose. And then
Yep.
when you're in the final moment, it's ensuring everything that I just told you about being a head coach. The noise is gone. We're not living in fear. You have to be willing to take a risk to go towards and grab something that has no guarantee. And
Yep.
some people are afraid to take that risk and say, man, I hope this happens. Or it's no, we're going to lean in and have the swagger and we're going to go make this happen. And we're willing to live with who we are after the fact with whatever happens.
Yep.
And it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking back, what stands out the most about last year's journey to you?
Last year's journey, it was a grind, and I say that in the sincerest way. So, from a personal standpoint, like we were coming off a finals loss in 2024. So it's okay. Let's try and leave no more stones unturned. Let's get into work a little bit earlier. Let's work on days when other people are taking days off and doing a little bit more. So it was more a mental and physical grind, which I look at that as very special. Now it's a reminder, this is what it takes from a personal standpoint, from a staff standpoint, and for our guys. Yes, we all do have more that we can give. And reminder, we're doing it for this. And now everybody who is a part of it is looking back and saying, oh, absolutely. I'm glad I put in all that work. So a grind is a good thing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people in the world are afraid of like, I want that, but I don't want to put in the work. And yeah, that's wrong.
Yep. And now, during the season, was there a point where you felt like you guys had all the pieces to actually win it all?
One of I mean, this is an Allen thing. If you get to a point, and this is any team, hopefully when you're playing in the final match to ensure that your team is fully bought into the process and growth mindset, it's, hey, even when we get to the finals, we're still going to be leaving that saying, oh man, there was some more meat on the bone. That's how you keep the creativity growing that we spoke on. How can we keep adding new wrinkles? We have our offense and block and defense system dialed in, our meat and potatoes, but we're still trying to spice it up even until the final day to have some fun and then knowing like, hey, this journey, wherever it goes through the ebbs and flows, we're going to enjoy this ride together.
Yeah. And during that run, the tournament run, were there any players that rose to the occasion in ways that surprised you or impressed you the most?
I think the lessons, yeah, I'll probably give shout outs to everybody, Barry. But the lesson learned is to remind the volleyball world that like you're either gonna come in and you're gonna start, or you're gonna have to come in off the bench. And are you able to maintain even until the finals and be ready to come in off the bench? And that's a very difficult thing. And through every single year that I've coached, and this is with McKay and Amir and Al would say the same thing. So for me, it's been 13 years at Long Beach State. The guys that started the season, I'm 0 for 13 at that same group. finished in the season, whether it be via injury, whether it be via performance, or whether it be something else. Like, so we teach our guys that from the fall, that you can't just look at it, just narrow focus, that this is what it's going to be. And you have to be prepared for it. And I think what you saw our middle unit, it was Dieris, it was Ben Braun, and it was Isaiah. We needed all three of them through different matches through that run. And then you see it was after the Hawaii series. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
we already spoke on Nato rising to the level, and then everybody else was starring. Skyler Varga was playing his best ball. Alex Kondev, Kellen Larson, and then even Moni going in those final weeks. It was Moni. This is what the opponent sees. This is what's going on here. What are a couple new wrinkles that you're going to try and expose on them going into the finals? So everybody was playing some really good ball.
Nice. And then, when you think about that team, what is the first word that comes to mind?
Relentless.
And
Plenty
that,
of words, but that was the
yeah,
first word that came to my
nope.
mind. Yeah.
And then, from a coaching standpoint, what did you learn about the team during that championship run?
Learning about the team during that championship run. When you're in that moment, you're trying to ensure that you are present every single day. So you like, and then going into the match, okay, point by point, set by set. Can't remember. I don't think we won every single set, but I've had some really fond memories that we were down 2 sets and we've reverse swept some opponents in Final Four matches and even in the finals. So all of these memories that I'm so lucky to have been a part of, I know that when we're in those moments, hey guys, with this next point, you don't have to win the match. We're literally living by point, being in the present moment. So if we go down by 1 set, or even if we go down by 2 sets, we have all of these other Long Beach legend stories that
Mm-hmm.
all we have to do right now, we have to win this next point. We have to win this next set. And even I remember, I think all signs showed that we were going to win the match. We were going to win the championship, but we still had to win 4 more points. So it was telling all the guys, because I was standing on the sideline, that were just frothing at the mouth, ready to go, like, no, present this point. So all the way through, I was very proud of how our guys just handled that maturity of point by point, being present, not reacting to
Mm-hmm.
the situation if we lost something. And yeah.
All right. And now another thing, since we talked, the Long Beach gates open here on Bump Set Chat. I had Alan on, TJ DeFalco,
Yeah.
Taylor Crabb, Nato, and Kellen. And then I was up in Quebec for the VNLs. I got to meet and talk to Moni and Alex, and then also Skyler. Meeting Alex and Moni, just humble, just after their match, willing to talk. And it's just, yeah, what a great set of brothers right there.
I would say, and this comes from their father and their upbringing, of course, who they are as young men as well. But then you add in what we brought up earlier. They're the definition of leave it better than you found it and bring others along with you. So, from the volleyball standpoint, they do a very good job at being professional and ensuring that they connect with the volleyball community and all of the fans. And that's something that you better keep getting that narrative out there, because every young man should focus on that.
Yep, absolutely. And then, this summer was huge for Long Beach players abroad, with Moni and Skyler with Canada, Kellen with Norseca, USA at Norseca,
Yep.
Alexander Kandev doing, I think, U23 with Bulgaria. For you, what was it like watching them on that national stage?
I love it. And I stay connected with them too. I'm standing here and I'll come in the office, and especially when some of our Long Beach guys do play each other, I'm cheesing. And then at the end of it, I'll send them, like, whoever it is, I'll send them notes and say, hey, you don't need to respond. You could even chuck these thoughts to the wall, but just know, and it's full support of them and through their experience, and trying to just stay connected and saying, I'm here at any point.
Nice. And now, how do experiences like the VNL, the Norseca, and the International Pro Training elevate what these guys bring back to Long Beach?
Okay, so and this is from Alan as well. Again, he's my mentor, and
Absolutely.
I'm gonna keep giving shout outs to him. It's like the first time that you're going through something, it's like it's playing in fast forward. And then at some point when you get used to it, like our guy after the fall, our freshman this fall, it shouldn't be spinning very fast for him. It should be kind of normal for him. A guy like Skyler that goes plays in VNL and then he comes back to us this fall, the game is just, he's able to see it in slow motion. He's able to create, he's hitting over, he's just him in the greatest of all ways. And when guys come to Long Beach State, they've got those goals to go play in VNL, of course, to strive for national championships, to be future Olympians, and to play in the biggest and best professional leagues. We've got a lot of countless examples that achieve that. So it's very special for me to be able to sit back and say, wow, this is amazing for all the group. I don't even need to coach some of these situations. It's just whether it be Skyler or it was Alex Kondev and then Isaiah and Kellen, every guy that played overseas this summer, to then let them put their own imprint on the group is a very special thing.
Yeah. Speaking of that international, playing international, coming back home and playing with your, the college team, not a Long Beach guy, but still a great guy, Jacob Pasture. He, when I talked to him, he goes, it was tough coming from the USA gym and going back to college because the level is like, your expectations are like, why can't you get that? But it's being able to adjust and work with those college players that didn't get to experience that and, helping them.
I think that's totally valid, Barry. And what I would say as a coach, we'll have one-on-one check-ins with those guys. I think that's part of a leadership thing too. Like, hey, it's okay that you're feeling that. Now, how are you going to bring the group along with you? How are you going to help raise the group? And for everybody, the progression when they are with us, at least at Long Beach, because I can speak from that lens, is when you do get here, you're going to have a mentor. And then it gets to a point where, okay, I've got mentees or I'm having just direct, cohesive conversations with coach and pitching ideas to coach. And then by the time the guys leave here, and I'll even say it to me, like, look, to the seniors, your job's also to leave me better than you found me and to help keep teaching me. So if we use that as the example, then absolutely those guys should be doing the same thing to their teammates too.
Yep. And now, what message do you want your players and the Long Beach community to hear from you as you start this new chapter?
You know what? I got a good message. So this was a quote that we used last week and a little bit of, I told the guys, hey, here's some poetry for you guys. And it was Bruce Lee mashed with Muhammad Ali. And it says, we are not in this world to live up to your expectations. We are here to live up to ours. And at Long Beach State, with our men's volleyball team, we all have massive expectations that are way bigger than anyone else's outside of our families. We are the ones willing to state, like, absolutely, we're going for the biggest and best goals and aspirations. So he who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. And fear and failure is a teacher. And here at Long Beach State, we do not skip class. So we constantly strive for more, which can be uncomfortable, and some people may be fearful of the discomfort, but not us. That's where greatness and growth happens. That's why we're built and bought into the process mindset, and we're going to constantly keep going for more.
Excellent. Well, I think Long Beach is in pretty good hands, man.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah. And Nick, thank you for coming on and giving us the update, and, good luck this upcoming season.
I love you, man. I appreciate you very much, Barry.